Hello and welcome to another audio mixing Wednesday with me, Harry Quinn. Today we're going to look at a clip that I put out yesterday of 3 parts of guitar for one of my songs, Dangerous. Let's take a listen. We'll just focus initially on this intro verse section. It consists of the Acoustic, which was recorded using a condenser, pencil condenser SE8, roughly pointed at the 12th fret. That goes into a dedicated preamp and then into my interface. This same preamp also has a DI input where I go from my electric guitar into the tuner that I've got on the floor that goes straight into the preamp DI and then into my interface. Okay, so let's listen to the audio straight away that was recorded cleanly, no plugins, just a limiter on the output of my mix here. And we'll go immediately and listen to the final mix now. And apologies, it's not level matched. Okay, so firstly, you can see that I have duplicated the acoustic guitar track. And if I bring up the mixer in Logic, pressing X, you can see from this graphic immediately what I'm trying to go for. I'm trying to go for low end. I'm taking out the highs and I'm boosting this 40 to 80 hertz region and cutting the super subs. And that's just trying to replicate the feel and sound coming from a full PA when I'm playing my acoustic guitar. Those hits really come through in the low end on the bridge piezo pickup. That's what I'm trying to go for because I can't quite get that with just this one pencil mic. So that's the first plugin. I'll play you how it sounds without that and then I'll add that plugin. Okay, now adding that first plugin. Sorry if you're not listening on headphones or speakers. Okay, and the next move is another EQ where I'm shelving from 131 hertz plus 8.7 dB. So more low end. Next, just so that the hits are coming through in the low end, I have gated that channel. I've also refined the detector here from 260 hertz downwards and increased the look ahead. A certain amount of tweaking with these settings. I think I probably could have done a better job, but it was doing enough for the purposes of this. I'll turn the gate on and off for you to take a listen. Initially also I was doing this not in solo, I was doing it in relation to having it accompanied by the acoustic guitar. Context always is important. And then the next plugin is more low end, so at 49.8 hertz I've increased by 6.8 dB. So let's listen to that off first, then I'll turn it on. So just getting more of that low end thump coming through. And the last plugin is a free plugin from DMG, which I absolutely love. This is just the mono version. The stereo version has more options, obviously. But what I was using this for was the phase invert. When I reintroduced this low end thump layer to the main acoustic guitar part, I don't want anything to be phasing out. There are other plugins that I could have used to more scientifically phase align them, but in this case I just wanted to do it quickly, so I just used the phase invert on and off to see which one sounded better, which one had more low end. In this case it's still off. So now let me play just the acoustic guitar and then I'll add this layer of low end to it and take a listen. Okay, and now with the low end. That makes a big difference for me. Next, those two guitar parts go into a group here. And if I open up the mixer again, you can see the EQ isn't actually doing anything there. But the compressor, I've gone through all the different options. That's typically what I do with this Logic compressor. I do use third-party ones mainly, but here I just wanted to use Logic stock plugins first. So ratio is 2.5, threshold -20. These are all just numbers. I've listened carefully and adjusted to taste. The release is auto, and the attack was quite important to me, just to get that enough of the attack through, but also to control the whole thing and making it sound good, hopefully. So I'm going to turn off and on the compressor on the acoustic bus, acoustic group, where those two channels are headed. So here's off. And here's on. Sorry again about the level matching, but I hope you can hear that it's just more in your face, and hopefully generally just delivers a little bit more of what I'm after on the funk guitar side of things. Next, we have an electric guitar. Let's listen to it without any processing on that intro section. And the first plugin there, something that's seen quite a lot online, is that it's recommended if you go into a amp plugin, which is the giveaway. Yes, I'm going to put this DI into an amp plugin. If you take the filter out the top end before you go into the amp, that can help get rid of some of the extra information that may not be respected through a real amp. If you filter that out first, it will sound better, essentially. So playing that. And now if I turn the amp on, I essentially just went through different amp models and mics. Not surprisingly, I went for the 57. And also quite a cool feature here is you can move around the location of the amp in relation to the mic, or the mic in relation to the amp, to try and get the best tone. You can definitely hear a difference if you're listening carefully where the mic is, as in real life. So a clean sounding amp. I'll just turn off, for curiosity's sake, turn off the EQ beforehand. Then back on. That seems to just add a slight little bit more clarity into the mid-range, as opposed to the highs. So yeah, I went for it. Next, a compressor. So here's the red compressor from Logic, the Studio VCA. Again, fiddled with the ratio, threshold, attack, release. This time the auto gain is on. So let's listen to that with the compression. And then off. Just makes it more consistent and seems to bring out the mids a bit more, lower mids. Well, it just makes the whole thing more consistent across the EQ spectrum, to be honest. And then I don't think I'm doing anything with this last EQ. No. And then finally, with this electric guitar 2, it's a very similar situation. So the EQ top end cut, the same similar amp, and the compressor is a different compressor. I've gone for the black face version. Again, different ratios, different thresholds, depending on the input material, different setting on the auto release. I've also turned the distortion on, which definitely is worth playing with, in my opinion. See if it suits. Let's listen to, and this last EQ, I'm taking out some low end and some super highs. Let's listen to without those two things. And now if I add the compression, it's definitely giving more of that authentic vibe, hopefully. And then I'll just toggle this on and off as well with the EQ. Certain amount of context as well, taking out the low end, but yeah, it's just a bit muddy on those percussive hits with the plectrum, so that definitely seems to help it cut through. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll just take you through the other parts. So guitar 1 also plays some harmonics in the pre-chorus E section. So yeah, just some chroma verb reverb there. Clean ambient tail, went for that. Guitar 2 pre-chorus. I've actually copied guitar 1, the settings there, I think. Yes, loosely speaking, I've added the same compressor and then another compressor actually. Here's with and without that compressor, that last one. I turn the mix down, and you can see that I've turned the mix down to 30%. So that's just a bit of parallel compression on the end of this to level it out a bit and give the hopefully suitable end result. This last part that I'm going to show you is the distorted electric guitar part, different amp setting. I've actually gone into the controls here, which I found a little bit more easy to dial it in a setting, and then EQ, similar move again, taking out the low end, taking out the very top end. I'll take out compressor, also gone into the settings there, and let me just show you how you do that as well. From the graphic user interface version, you just click view controls, and then that gives you more of the granular dials and knobs. So here's without the compressor. Let's turn off the amp as well. Let's listen to that. Could have played it cleaner, but here we go. Here's the amp. And then compression. And then the EQ. Okay, and I'll just play you that section as well. Last thing, on the mix bus, I've got a paid plugin. Everything else was free or stock. And this is just a relatively affordable DMG track limit plugin. I've added 0.5 dB in a transparent mode. Hopefully that was interesting to some people. Catch you for the next one. Thanks.